so o man yimra asubjafie a and this for no and take Ghanaians for granted omudu nsi abobo adam okrom ha na
I think on this point
yeah. And omudu nsa ye nwene
omudu o ma bon na ye kasa o munte no
John Akwaba John
hey President Mahama
Ghana for dwene
hey President Mahama
John Mabon di impresa Ghana for dwene and this for mu tiamia Ghana for dwene o mamo nyama twen se Ghana for nyina domo boro so because ya kwato about 2024 ya to aba no munya majority o man imra so de fie mu twi mu ntia no ano no oboa
omudu o ma bon na ye kasa o munte no
oh dada ho we kran kani kwa sa me catch from free education am de mom
oh the whole bad the whole brutal
and tontom ma no ko dwa tontom mosquito ne ba wo ko dwa bo ase obi ahu na no obo ni sam pra don't you pra
hey
obedru fie no se maame no se me ba edi asem wo se me ko dwa bo na se no se ne amanfo ma me fans na mso wo bo bra pa oso mo ye de no mo bo mo nsam o se ai o se hweye no mo kun
wey boy
kum na no mpeso mo kun batoma nya wankun enti nyame na adu ho afofie se power ahoma no so monim nyame na adu ho afofie enti ma otrimu nya oden se utrimu nya oden se me maame abobre enti o mo bo mo nsam ni epe wakun
oh the whole bad the whole brutal
ya fa bi uprising some mabunu sorry say ya sorry atia ban no echenku
and papa dia no kan ko say
ku ne asojafo no mkitatuo anu kra nya hu saa mabunu ma sorry say ya humete ya bra aban ya mpano anu ehu
I ask you to be citizen
bram pipi aban tia konwa so betin tax bae betin tax bae no and this for see ebuei ya nti bi da
omudu o ma bon na ye kasa o munte no
na mabunu omo atomo credit omo atomo data omo akomo mobile phone so omo akwaye Real Madrid beshe Barca City beshe Man U no akodi ni sika aban wasem
hey
MPP aban se sika no hia bi woje Ghana mabunu muntie wu enti monto abantia MPP aban sabi manu da sumina so mpanyima so akonya num wo buye kwase a
hey
wo so ba ye se de ode ba aye sporting fan
hey na 24 to be chat trouser
sports fan sa o be bo foto sa na be ye sporting activities no ebetimi akoso enti wo tu mirika akoma yimra so de fie puru te sa sabe pongwa wa bodam
hey
foto na ya bono Ghana fo na ebetua eto
hey
edi asemo a se na be ya sporting activities ekoso Ghana ebetimi agina
wey boy
yey
wey
tibongo so aban be ni ani abantin tax ne mane nka hwai wada ne kronfo wada ne awi wodi ni fama na de benko herre no asiaje
ne ka na da hodo
ya correspondent to ahoma no so ono to nkra fro man yimra so jafie experience journalist se pa ahoma no so se pa majo
you are okay
bibia boko de
Eradi adom na so
nyame e de afam yen kamse na de ye kono boko ekodi buro nya afisha paso
oboko de nya boko minia
we di bronya show ni ye no abayi ya se ye fra bibi sports fan ana ye de ba o mayimra shibjafie be wa de bo mayimra shibjafie na abotre na boy ho enkomo kakra eno ye dan ho na betwa se sika no foto no efiri he
yo senior wedi kan aboto no sports fund bill sports minister Adams Adam said ya ba masebijafia o pete masebijafo ejitum nanka o metimi akoto aso no ina yin se agupama no ya na o trese sikasem no said mo papa kankan ni players ye di o moko amanone ene adeade group sa tournament adeade na ya na emboa enti no o matese yimedi fofra na policy fofra ebeboa ama yɛde saa sports fund no ɛde bɛyɛ sɛ bɛyɛ yago prama nsɛnsɛm no ho sikasɛm ya na akɔkɔyɛ bachibidi no yɛtumi aso ano na wei mu ɛna yɛ wohwɛ sports fund bill na baabi wɔ hɔ a sɛbi ama in fact na minority for no ebi mu ɛne minister no ɛnya adwene wɔ ho ɛkankan ne ɛyɛ sports levy and sports betting levy wɔn de aba yi na ɛyɛ masogani a ogyina hɔ ma agye hyɛ wɔn wɔ wagyabawe Jerry Ahmed sai ɛna ɔde saa asɛm yi atu dwa na ɔhwɛ ɛyɛ sports fund bill no so no ɛna saa deɛ no ɛtwe n'adwene kɔɔ so ɛna na ɔtwe speaker adwene akɔ so sɛ na sɛ aban dada no ɛbaeɛ no ɔde betting tax ɛbaeɛ mo nso mo baeɛ a mo betwam ɛma mo bɛyɛ ehu dede saa na afei na masan de sports betting levy ɛde aba na ɛno na aseɛ de sɛn ɛno no wohɛ betting tax a na ɔmanpanyin na Adan Kufuor na aban penso no wɔde baeɛ no na wode esusu deɛ wɔn nso wɔde ba na difference bi anim na kyerɛ sɛ ɛnya ade foforɔ a wɔde ba nti wɔn mpɛ sɛ yɛdi foforɔ wɔde to so a wɔn nka ne yie na ɛsɛ nso so sport betting tax ya na wɔn san de ba deɛ a wɔn nka ne yie na ɛsɛ da nkɔ adwene pa in fact na wɔyi ho akyerɛ paa ama bebree na ehu sɛ senior sport betting tax yi ɛyɛ abadada de baayɛ no saa na ɛyɛ aban foforɔ yi sports betting tax sports betting levy again koraa behu bɔ wɔn asan adane dane bi no ɛde saa adeɛ foforɔ yi ɛba na wohwɛ saa sporting levy na ɛfa na anaasɛ dodo na ɛkɔgyina ɛyɛ betting ana wɔn a wɔtwa bet ɛwɔ usually sport no ho mekyerɛ yɛ football bet ne adeadeɛ no soccer bet ne adeadeɛ na tumi enyim dadaada sɛ aban dada no ɛde baayɛ sɛ wɔn de saa tax to so sɛ wonya osika bi a na sɛ wodi wo bet bi a aban nso betwa ne deɛ afiri saa percentage no ɛho ebia ɛna aban foforɔ yi ɛsan ɛde aba ɛnso so no ukoyi emu nso firi hɔ a bonus a ebi a wobenya ɛwɔ wo bet a wagi no so no aban nso so ɛbɛyi bi afiri ɛnti no ɛno ɛna na ɛkɛmɛ akɔyɛ sɛ Rojagbawe MP no ɔnte aseɛ papa aban no anaasɛ sports minister no Kofi Adam so ɔbɛkyerɛ aseɛ na akɔkɔyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ adedada na ɛna ɔmo akasa ɛhyɛ bɛtwa mu na afei ɛbaa ne sɛn ɛna afei no koraa ɛma na ewie yɛn asan ɛde adeɛ asan bɛyi nti no ɛho nkyerɛmu no yɛtwɛn sɛ sports minister no ɛde bɛba afei sports fund na nkasa no so no bill no so ɛpropose sɛ adehye ana Ghanafoɔ adehye a ɔmo wɔ amanɔne yi a sɛbe nyame aka ɔmo nsɛm a in fact beebi ɔmo wɔ no ɔmo hyɛ yie paa no etwa sɛ ɔmo san ɛdane ɔmo ani ɛde bɛsie na kakra a ɔmo nya ɛwɔ ɛsoro hɔ no anaa aburokye hɔ nom no ɔmo ɛbɛti kakra ɛde abra abɛboa ɛwɔ yɛ sports dwumadie ɛkɔ so wɔ Ghana ase ɛno nso ɛba asɛm a Jerry Ahmed yɛ yi san gyina so ɛka sɛ in fact ɛnya deɛ a ebeti mpo in fact ɔmo aburokye amanɔne no koraa no ɔmo brɛsi ne yɛn a ɛwɔ Ghana ha ɛba ne kyɛn na nipa ne nsa nkɔyi ne kobo a wɔnya kakra na ɔsan fan bɛboa ɛnya deɛ a ɛbɛboa eti wei ne nsɛm ahodoɔ a meti kaka sɛ ɛho ɛba asɛm in fact ɛnɛ masɛgya fie mu na ɛnya easy koraa ekodu baabi koraa na Alexander Makin ɛyɛ minority ɔmo ba no dani no na ɔne first deputy speaker a ɔno wagye na konwa ene ya ɔno preside over the house no na ɔmo tintam wɔ nyema makɔni in fact na apapɔyɛ kasakasa dodoɔ bebree na kɔba ne sɛ minority leader ɛka sɛ president speaker ɛma attitude ɛwɔ kwan yɛ ɔfa so ɛne minority for no AD ɛwɔ saa sports fund
right sapa nti me toase a ɔma lebe no ɛwɔ ma yimra sɛ odwafie
me ba so ai
nti ɔmo paase a na abɛyɛ mmra
ai sisi no pane sɛ edru ya track consideration stage no ɛna yɛwie no nti no aka third reading no third reading no na wɔn mo kan yɛ na no ano sɛ yɛ paase na afei president abɛtena ase na afei abɛyɛ mmara.
Right, sapa mena say ma moni adwuma maka se bro nyanti yan kwakyere bibi wo abɛse abankyɛn moni adwuma enti wo ya Ghana ni na wo tie mi a menka samsam abodam wo me no monsa me modam madwene da ho clear no kra ba kopɛ
My been the whole clear, man. No man, man.
azan kromfo aban and this ya kromfo aban we
My been the whole clear.
hey na bra MPP aban introduce sa betting tax mo say omo betting Ghanaians titru ne mabunu mo say MPP aban timi create jobs emma mabunu sa mabunu benya adwuma aye babunu no ni nyansamu wakoto mobile phone watoni data enya aban ne toma ano wano football mo ball Man U Liverpool Real Madrid ne Barca ne de kekeka ho wa bete we adi nkunim wa gini sika aban gibi mo si aban ne wia Ghana fo mabunu enti mo ba tio and this aban kromfo aban mo ba mo betwa betting tax num take say azan sat na ban wo ye Ghana ni a medical catch say ha nya hey abua kwase dabi ya ka no kra kire wo no kra ba ko pe ukumi na tina wo nyame nkumi bio
Who can we know so one tia say there on headache.
musimu ba betting tax mu betwa mampanyam pa mu twa mu afem maye abusumi nsia maye
Hey!
mu dimirika ko man yimra so bjafie akolle bill e wo man yimra so bjafie be a mo de koye owura Kofi Adam sports minister ne de koye e de asam a sports betting levy
Hey!
sports betting levy na mo de akobe na mo de akono ye de tumu a abeye mmra
Hey!
MPP de na tax
Hey!
mo de levy ni nyina ye pa tax levy difference nim
Hey! You are
kwa ba de ba o mu nyina akrobofo ma
Hey! Now, for to be catch trouser.
mu ba tutu maburu botoma wi o mu sika from bottom
The can that hold
by extension and so sports betting levy no utie mi atem ye pa sa wo bette teams mienu bobo na bette na wudi a sika benya no aban beji bia se afuru bottom
Hey!
enti betting tax a MPP introduce ye no amo se enye papa motwam no we amode ba na yeden
Hey!
omo ye kejeti akromfo
Hey!
wo wiaw no atiama awio na sika ne se bottom
If it is foolishness, it is foolishness.
mobile phone na se bottom amo pa awi no no wa wi ade no wo se pa obi fufura awi
Wait,
wo pa MPP aban awi
wait,
John tie o ande se fo mu tie
wait.
mo ba ye no mo se mo the sports betting levy esia akoma imra na ne wo twa ba kunum ye den wo da Ghana for jama ka cho say aban no ne ho beda ho
Oh, the whole bad, the whole brutal.
ye ma ba ne chance ande se ba memo mo chance o
You can't wear so very set your
mo
mind.
boa
You can't wear so very set your mind.
ya ba timo gina ho
Oh, the whole bad, the whole
ya
brutal.
ba Ghana for hu no kra sa mo ye nkontompofo mo ye dameremafo mo ye azan mo ye set mo ye akrofo
Hey! Now, for to be catch trouser. In for to be catch trouser.
na wei ba bia ye kwenka ye se ne bobra
Wait, wait.
aban bi abetena konwa so wo se ne de na oye no wo bo Ghana fo kro no o mo ya akromfo MPP aban ya akromfo aban na wo aban papa wo ye pope ahun samienu ebom a wo je communion no se de aban ne de ba ya enye no eno an wo twam no wasan de aba wakoto ne din foforo pentima mento na de bre ye
I think on this point.
na do say ye nkurase fo okrom ha
I think on this point.
ana ani afra ne
Megye se mebu dodo a etie me anwumre. Enya rehemu kese de to abama His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. A promise a 24-hour economy. Nene, yentimi ni sanko money biem no. Eyo moya. And that is why I'm telling you, sir, we are sitting on a time bomb. Not for anything, no,
7.3.
but because of the anger that will start boiling in the hearts and the minds of the young people in this country. Because industry players kwan anka obefo so atimi aboabo one from entrepreneurs eba fo so atimi ahyehye omu sikasem ne nasefo expand omu businesses no ene etu obu omu kom ene de enyinama hoɔden omu didi omu dwuma no ebu omu kom ebe ye dan no atimi expand afa afoforo no mabem. It's what I've realized. They say the individual within this country, and you're only the focus of what government does. And you're only the focus. But what government is interested, especially with the betting idea, near eba abine ho.
But the ebe caught na man for hodi.
And the no nyane dajune. So tier to find out do baby some say the America say or to public sector workers musala or to musay 9. Yeah 9. Presidential staffers or to 67%. So we should know where the priority of the government is.
The interest you on one crop for
yes, that is why on the interest work. The interest has nothing to do with the ordinary Ghanaian to say and no tier to pine. The focus ni ho. So what shall one employ jumani be? No abusa who say yet to a market to mukra send ye di 2 more 9%. What one on crop for market to say no di 2 more 67%. No abusa ho say sena dache no ebesiaye. Hwe si ashasi ehunu ne say Timbemufuo no should be the focal point when we are talking of economic transformation. Dani de nyina ebebo abubu si abo afidie so aba bebo atumpan no. And you focus, you beba beka GDP growth akose. But you be say ho say how many decent jobs and as I budget in a ready year no. Etimi creating more man for year. These are the numbers. One our poverty line do say the team yi o mu free mu. Nipa do say na ban etimi create wealth ema wo mu as a measure of the success of the budget. It is any ema we nyina we hu the 2026 budget ni ma menua. The 1.3 krona wo kan ho asem no. Next year will increase. And that is why Dr. Yosea Duchum advocate say e kan say onya akonya na ade e friend no living wage should be part of our payment system.
Living wage ni yeden.
So come on here. They say every day be adwuma ye ni tuaka. It is even so spend 12 hours a day ni tuaka say ya 12 hours no. A day e bia hour bia you say hour bia you say hour bia you say hour bia you say ni be tuaka. Enye the friend no minimum salary no. Nye minimum wage.
Okay.
Because per the definition of poverty according to the World Bank now, Ghana's minimum wage is lower. And what it means is that we are creating more poor people using the minimum wage. Into 1 year jumano sebi enyam fasudie bi enfri so because of the kind of salary structure they ma womo. And that is where the difficulty is. And again, Abino has not demonstrated to us say one anka omo abetimi abo omutirimu aye bibi their friend entrepreneur no or a system bi obetimi a create a certain support for them ama omuso etimi grow. And if you've listened to Dr. Yosea Duchuma,
Private sector no.
Yeah, exactly the point. What's the Dr. Yosea Duchuma? Some about our videos or okay. As some okay say the establishment of prosperity centers. Enye bia kekesi ye tudin because ye said ye say poverty is local. When him say Enkramantamui, Greater Accra region, the Greater Accra region itself is not poor. The districts within Accra
and
Accra
the various
communities, no, and you're poor. But one year poor, no, and you want more mutimu. Why? Because the interest of government is so ni bi o famame. It is a buying Esuma Ghana Revenue Authority for Bakola. And yes, Okobusa they say, and I saw no Mukudin Komebisa and say, dear ye bet me a boa mo etimia tre wajumanim etimia fafu from magum. There be omukra credo. Ye beji. Wenya maya.
Ye local.
So bedidi, so wundidi. So one year juma honey bedidi so munidi and phobia. Nti dani de nyina one at it mamuno epe kwa befaso e biti aban kwa aban so befaso anya ni sika ne se wode ehunehuna ene etirimoden ebekọ wo mo so ubonso omanfo no ehura gina baabi no akai so meti oman mu kra obi adwuma kra mpo na the taxes ni utility kwa bebu ko mu nti de ma menkọ kra meton nyesa na ekoso and that is why anytime we are on the economic space ye di nkomo ebedi afa ho aye exchange rate ni ebosi dollar na ba form na one exporting so eden esu ebeduru baby aban say the ade ni see it is affecting my revenue it person me peg exchange rate no eduru sa bia we na one ekope bi krampo de akoye omodwuma so omunya bia si jiso kwa abochi ho last na make say if that is the case and ye interested in the dollar and I'm a boy.
Yeah.
Because that is what
by extension.
Yeah, then let's stop our CD and the dollar. All because the way I first manage the economy no, from the days of old, ebesine is not yielding the necessary support. Ebetimi ampoa amietimi aketeli youth unemployment in this country. But one thing, be a doctor yourself, you try with video so catch it on say. I was say yetimi ma ye system ni timi ma babunu ni timi sesa na adwene efi ade a okokosua ye ho no hunu ne say ade a mekoye no emma me akonya ma me timi penetrate into the job market enya adwuma entimi mfa nhwe me humpo na makọ he mabusua ye say wo fa ne say as sociology na usua ya fa ne saako tu pie efre mu ba wa de wa ho ode no nim de ahwe kwan abefa so survive ene ewiase asesa ene enyuma kesi a ekoso wo be kona a robot ene ye adwuma just recently enrechi I was reading a story one of the tabloids says I'm friend in Nigeria yes Dangote ne oil refinery no ABA na wo fa nipa mama ba be yemu adwuma wa recruiting makonko 11,000 Indians and Chinese amunya Nigeria for and Nigeria for buafu adenti na mo buafu response a free company no buy and they said the skill set or much channel omuni bi ebini ho anu nti no e wo se esade komade abrofu yaaye on said in community ko and that problem is not only limited to Nigeria. You find that same problem within our country called Ghana, and that is why the government say the a doctor you said should have done a needs assessment on the job market. No who say baby a job no akwa die no sa bia we enti me manfo no to do say na nya training in a certain field enti me mo akonya within 6 months as dem me bo mo ka ammo tete afoforo say na be betimi amiti sa job needs krona ye kan ho asem no. And also America is looking for over 500,000 cyber security people. Quite many befa so etimi benefit every ho. And if the government is serious, Kobesha here pinch and some doctor you say Luchumuka said retraining for our young men and women in this country. Short retraining, so they can fit into that space corner walker. And whether we like it or not, the jobs are in the IT field. A honor. Into the preaching about, say, every constituency, every year, medical doctors and engineers, you be training 150 no, and yet buapaye kekeo. And yet towards establishing the needs and I said the labor skill na atiakano. Send a beya omo fit into the job space. Okay. And if we are not doing that, then what it means is that the teeming unemployment numbers will begin to grow. One, the set skill krona ye can was this government is not ready to give out. Two, and then any utility bills or the collapsing entities. Three, there is no stimulus package for entities to be able to expand. But what government is interested in is yenje and free or more. Right. What is such a chiri or maya?
man intimi
nkoso.
Right, recently yana Pandai issue by Tamale High Court. Judge Otena 7 so Honorable Metunyindam issue no so call for rerun Pandai. Supreme Court on the ruling by said there is a stay of execution. Anti High Court no decision no omo home so na yenti asem na ansa na o metuma take decision o ma take decision. And they are Akufo-Addo High Court. So whom constituency proposal ono so ye de call Akufo-Addo High Court say nka yen san kone rerun wo suhum, but God being so good, High Court no abo asem na gu say agina so obi anim say ye be waste time say ye be kwa koye rerun ana election for wo suhum ade we enye hu de keka kono enye hu
Unim on the Supreme Court there no, I don't think that the Supreme Court had any option.
No money for you betima.
No. They couldn't have ruled otherwise per the fact, and it's said here and MSC core at the High Court crime it is some of the services, and I say what the High Court no should do. Now I see judge and say na home fan into ultimate man be this argument. And so what is
Mate.
That's quite interesting. And it tells you that the NPP as a political party should begin to sit and do an in-depth introspection about our political life.
Now country the mommy here the all kind bro.
I was the party called NPP. I was a yetenase. Na yankasi ye nunu ye ho.
Ni ekoye nchi kakra.
Na yekoye nchi kakra. Ni ye hye no kwan a ye betimi afa so agina brane. Because the ruling in Suhum, the Supreme Court ruling by at Pandai, any near kika hu nyina no, it tells you say ye ya adwene say ye tenase ne ye adwuma ye betimi am ye party na agina ye. Say tenase mpanyifo edi party anim. Enimdifo o party mu. Ye tenase ne aka kire say ye adwuma say de sise, say de enim NPP for ne ye jai jobs ne toma ye ho na. We can survey some of these situations. And that is why said the near Messi call within your flag bearership race make actually NPP ni be ATM. Say if we are serious as a political party, na ye hwete dia foforo ni mo bi mo ye na kametu omo fe say ye mo nyina ngina nchen. The odi ni mo nyambre party to say Dr. Yose Aduchum mum na ese hwe no. If we say ye hunu time e sha ase born to e niema ye de ayeye ye ho. Ene menji ni se to aba ni wie na obi di animu a obetimi akole for brabeka na hom into anamo. Because emeba mpo a na me de nwure fita abomi mu a kokko sha ase.
Yeah.
Enye mitirimu fine na me de ba. Anke ye mi se obi say ye to aba ni wie a no one win a oba be kan obi ho amana bo aye campaign o sisi ye hwe. Na ka me kan abusua ho. Na asema sifie na me baabi a ewosan ka abusua panyini fa phone efre me san damase ana abusua na me ka ho dada
Nti na se bi
e fisem bibia ni ho because me ame ho na aka nti na me bae but then what are we seeing nti party form painting kwa etie any Pandai issues any suhum ne nasefo nyina because the NDC has noted see enunu wo mo a esebia nu wo mo num
because in kabom ni party
kabom ni ho. And I can see said the only unifier within this contest is Dr. Yose Aduchum, fourth on the ballot. I didn't make us if we say they will see a crown within this process a daddy. Emma Ghana phone in a hunu. And you may be a Pokemon if you so I made in one dance here the actual war. May per one single moment a media and a capture so could not seem so at why am Pierre de Tia will be. And I said, Jina Simpie so Bobby Dimpo de Canasem, say, we're born to the actual delegate. Saki na ye two sana mono. All these other individuals, fantastic individuals, on any day can do better than President Mahama. E two sana mona, Dr. Yose Aduchum Mutuona. Aka betting tax in na se for edi hun komonyi na aka Ghana for ate dada.
Okay.
Because it's a party in ya dajia, ye di ura national issues mu. party ni adaje a ye de ka kire Ghana for say mpo abaye ntimi meeting financial target in 2025 hence or the niema e ba be gugu form e ba beje to de free e ho why na di san komo no yes an komo ni ye di enkomo a ye di ni say we si watime we si okan we ni twi me that is where our interest is and that is why Ghanaians are not comfortable and that is why maybe our pokumens I'm not comfortable and that is why I make kan kire one na e ka bi ewo mu say assurance bet any doctor yaw osiadu chum number 4 on the ballot si etimi kan ya hu bom rally behind him the so-called seat NDC for aka kachire Ghana for nyina kachire people for say mu seat we dey nsa kan ebeji we no ni nyina will be a thing of the past because as at that time ye hu no say the esi aka hu abom no ye say unity lies what strength sa hu oden no e wo ho aye didi adwuma nyina but I see ya nhwe ne sa na ye adwene say oh de bi ebetimi akokọ ti benya ruling in our favor I can tell you say we'll be laughing on the wrong side of our mouth adam se femye metie the Minister for Government Communications on city besides the intina why they attack wanting to yes be the resetting the judiciary and so for also the NDC at 1992 constitution they've never won any constitutional case I didn't know what say yes sir and therefore the judiciary is against them.
That is all my boy pies on be change.
Nankada Chief Justice tell me what were the issues? What were the issues?
And then the couldn't to cry.
Yes. Now unkai time and President Mahama a vice president. According to the Auditor General's report, read in the August House of Parliament by the former member of Parliament for Achoma Mpunia. Ema Ghana for nyina hunu. Say President Mahama ene nimba ene ne yire to kwan ko South Africa e ka bi bai captured in the Auditor General's report. But you mami we dey sanity. But you'll be calling for the impeachment of the vice president then. Enti no say etnase na say ye ya adwene say ye be ye ama yourself ni say the ye hu ye fisem ni say ya na then the hope na air build no will begin to dim. A back from kakra. And that is why yemfanya futusem and the tumpaina airborne in sem komana ye no. Any the Supreme Court affirming otherwise for the Padai seat. To whom they are, I think we are only focusing on the betting tax. But there is a new element in the tax component. I de kwako fund this idea no.
Sports development fund no.
I was say uhudru. I was say uyemu show. The title ne lesser funded sporting activities. Ewo maimu. Ebini athletics. Yemu say I was say sikadodo opose ne de share wana etu America amoto javelin ene na safe way sikadodo say ne share. One dey participate sikadodo say no munya.
High jump ne long jump ne de keke.
Sikadodo say no munya. Na tie. Offer the very document I can ho asema committee ne report or say report of the Committee on Youth and Sports on the Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025.
To Jana Botchani Binyanko.
Was say TMA Poto was say the committee noted that the sources of money for the fund include monies approved by Parliament, proceeds derived from special sports lotteries, 10% of fees and charges accruing from the Gaming Commission of Ghana, from sports betting companies. Hana mepese etiefu nyina yetieni was saying, as well as percentages of proceeds from tournament and bonuses for athletes. And now to America, Emma my Ghana wutie mi a. Ye so called international activity, bonus na de be ma no, ye bete to. So to javelin Emma my Ghana now call international activity. Sika de be ma as bonus no, ye bete to. Say, oh yeah, black queen, say black queen, say or black queens. So yeah, black queens player. No one di ma football echi, any ma sporting activities echi. Sikana ye tesu humpa enta anko no. Abai catch there say per this bill. Abai say o bonus or de bema no or better tour at the free. That is the conversation. I was actually asking me ye pinch and to pine. Near tears answer me near tears said the Doro Nisiko. Near Sue Kebichra for Fronum. Near Sha say Nyadrin Sachra. And I have Yana may say me political party called the NPP. Yanya the finest opportunity to see a better agents will be in the party anymore. Naki ye discussing issues of policies ne kwan ye befa so ye nya akwanya na ye betimi abo man na mo man kan kwa ayefe no enye no ho komo ne yedi o enye national burning issues ne na go at apono so ayedi o ne mum kwan ye befa so ato jobs amaye ho. That is the conversation of the day. We can wait then it becomes the banner headline. Nebo graphic enim kakraka bo paper we enim kakraka. Say aspirant we say or can say ni tia ni nua. Obo sen sama tumpan brochra amanfo no na yera. Ene asama ye ka kire ye ni say wana sporting activities man Ghana on the international stage no. Wa musika ketwa na e de mom na buy say we interested in taxing it. Not only the betting tax o. Betting tax dey so go try na Madrid na wan ya. O sisika na bo betting ne dey say the okaseti aye no. Eno an was an dey. Was an dey ba. Ne mo me na kra de wasa hye mu kena atra so. Me formal school tia mas. Ye G superzone to asuma akoma akonkon 10. Me formal school a me we will case. So all kind sporting activities are national players or more produce their Ghana. Na de hwa ye ho no and I buy say ni bonus no the man no interested in taking taxes out of it.
Obi a no akwa bring moja ni na sika wo benya no se box ni e papa na ni a kakra obenya no so no aba no be se awia na
we enye me na me bo mitrimaka. This is the document from Parliament. May say report of the Committee on Youth and Sports on the Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025. Oko page 5 and 9 pages. Page 5 or say sources of funding.
Okay.
May say putobi. Mr. Ode wo chire twini man.
Ho hia pa.
Was it the committee noted that the sources of money for the fund include monies approved by Parliament, proceeds from special sport lotteries, 10% of fees and charges accruing from the Gaming Commission of Ghana, from sports betting companies, as well as percentages of proceeds from tournament and bonuses for athletes.
And one wakano obi atiase.
To enya me ya opokumensa.
Enti ohamu chichemu du.
Exactly the
sika no mo beje.
Ombeje.
Enti se wo ba kotu mirika e wa abrochire no onya sika biya no a.
Aban say o interested obetimu 10%.
Obi tu ne chacha e wo ne phone so isu ni data.
Obetinite ho.
Wow.
To otinite ho wie efri mebunu die ni ma. Wodon so ayede hoahoa ye ho. Sefa se nanka time na azuma koma Ghana no. Ti ni sika bi obenya bia no. Aban is so interested in taking 10% out.
Na betre ho kire mu ye wo kontokwa ne wi na wakon awie kura no
that's all call say the obenya bi o si bonus no does it tie was say as well as percentages of proceeds from tournaments. That's why they are a tournament.
Yes.
The fact say the Olympic Games as a tournament.
Yes.
Ti kakra na o man de be ma no e de apepa na niwa ni suo no aban so obeji mutuo and bonuses for athletes.
Omo betu mirika so
adwo abayo mo vida mo den tan ran ko mutu America ma Ghana no America na ombetuo no sika kakra aban de bebo mo ho bra no aban se meteto
ohamu chichemu du
yeah obete etinye betting tax ne kwa na aban de ba o nemo wa hyebu kena traso eno na so oye NPP ni na wutie mi anwumre ya eno na e wo se ka bibi kire o se yenka ye hummom sisi efie ye. The jobs are one too many. And we are killing the very interest what we are fighting for to salvage this country. Because that is not what we are discussing. And you know common Yes, in the past, me say what two years old friends a jam.
Ayampia.
No, what two mano. Now we saw better aba. Now fed the moda front pages. Ni past me when the campaign you koye or two ja. I mean, so a dragon.
Because a campaign.
We a dragon.
107.3.
Because we a dragon.
Because you have a candidate telling you, say, hey, your Ministry of Education. Trimu poba kwa Dr. Yossi Educhum de buy and it says some of our secondary schools to produce athletes. Yen nature sa talent in Yankopon di ama womono. In the area of sporting activities, no. They say they all call Amanone, UK, one for a year, special schools for
academy now.
We wanted, as part of the process, some of the secondary schools were going to be developed into sporting schools.
And to identify a crown and the potential.
Yes.
Sir, football no
say the talent.
No one started.
There is a friend, 1,000 hour rule. Kwaya. Mo friend say Williams buy no more long tennis. Tiger Woods mu ebeduru baby omaduru na nya kwa.
O start free baby.
Ehye ya. Ekuro no mo free mu no. Ehye da ye to groom them. Gave them better facilities to train with. Nobody almost found it him. And then you mentioned great athletes, sporting men and women in the world. And your Western world, the Crawford in Bobo. It's not Trimupo. Dr. Yossi Educhumasa Sisubiu. They say, Onyakwanyana, some of our schools will have the opportunity to be sports schools. They say the AC Creative Art School, Ashanti region. To once an entity, from Nenkola Bremuna. This is the potential we've identified. Because the talent is raw. To basically yes. We are producing the next Messis from Ghana. Quite fast no. It's what it means, and he said every talent has a role to play in our national development, but not with the intention of taxing them, because it becomes a disincentive.
Of course.
I hear now the man.
Motivate you.
Yeah, because within the athletic space, no crano, budgetary allocations, the can't do a sign a call. Your focuses on football, true of us. And even also proceed from sporting activities. Yeah, me say the days of Kotokone has an anchor month for Bufaso Koheno, sanity be. Into Okako tax and I to the free mono. Quite ben, Sikaben or the Bebo team in Hobra.
Na get proceedings, Gromunya who.
Sikasen had Black Stars of a bomb match, a Ministry of Sports, or Muncha free ticket. But you enjoy free ticket.
Free ticket or.
Because you want people to be in the stadium. Nenti sebi in Prebiasa. So would bibia ma trim kwa be fast we generate sika dia bo ministry no ho bra ne sa de kroya peso we. Now one kasa ultimate free tickets just because you want people to be in the stadium no. Na ne dey catch stadium now the free ticket ma no. E run akwa 10% na na. But for akwane kifesa proceeds na akwa 10%. Every alaji cruiser sika mu ana. Into my children Yedi guato pressa, yedi diagro.
107.3.
Say antia CSM free sa biano. Na ye hunu kwa ye befa so ama ye homene so. Dani den nyina de esa be shi ABC mu. Ya kosre ababedi.
Right.
The mechanic say nkechi. Ene tumpan na ebo. Baby atumpan na boy kodru bia ne ne amahunu amaka kire afidie su bia no. Na ye Ghana ni adwene Ghana nkanko ho ade de gye yeni o. De gye yeni.
Ana kura to beto so. Ba obi be bisa say omunim so mbaje tuo yi a betting tax na den no omu yi free ho. And at this time on person mo expand it. No munye scan mo nti omu yi.
Ubusa me mesa asem we e be di se metimi ayi ha no. Efri say betting tax by yeti oman mu. Yehu adapa abaida da na twam ye twa no wona di animu din ahodo e de frɛ wo mo eno contribute ma voting apathy.
Yeah.
Esiye ene His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene di oman anim Senkamene na menenoa. Enieme twagui. Eniema yedi hu nkomoi. Ni atrasui. Me de chelpa ni dibem. Ebema NPP. Nama pagana for chose me dada wo mo. He should man up enough. No hunu say. Ene so si mabunu. Sebi o maso edin wo tian tian. Yembu say ho say. Yem panyifo na ye wo man no bra ben ye bo e de mampe mabunu na se mofra no esua. Enya atro ne edie. Atro ne edie. Sebi kasa ehun nyehwam ene yeka. Ye twatro de agi to me. Aka kwan a ye befa so atimi edi ye bo hye so de ama omanfo no. Ayebo achibidi. Ene go look at the performance of the 2025 budget, because government is unable to meet its revenues. And the government is not doing any capital expenditure.
On spending.
Spending. And then we are telling you said inflation was single digit. Yes, Anity.
Yeah.
And then we are telling you say exchange rate above form. And so when you catch it, say in 2026 January, so now to your electricity 1,000, you are going to pay 1,300. And your man anke de to anyina mahode boom ne nasefo. Yes, exchange rate. Near kind inflation.
Yeah.
World market price of crude. Sani ama we nyina ke si ni trash ade na esa ka hu no. Ka me ho be hede.
Ebe
Se me industry player na me di anyina mahode na di me dwa. Me ho be hede. Ebe ha me. Because the pressure on the foreign exchange, you know, abafom. Inflation is why hede. Abafom. It's dear pan a bet trigger. Say on utility, there should be an increment. Ghana for where to pineapple.